All right, well, when you're talking about meat cookery, the first thing that I have learned in my experience is that a lot of people will throw meat in a pan, crank up the heat really high, and walk away and forget it. The first thing that you really want to realize when you're doing that is you're killing the product, whether it is a steak, a pork chop, a piece of chicken, or even a piece of fish, it doesn't matter. If you're not cooking it properly and you're not paying attention to time and temperature, you're going to end up with a dry, overcooked piece of product, and you've wasted money at that point. So the first thing you want to do, say, we'll use a steak for example. First thing that most people overlook is tempering the meat. I've talked about this before on the site. It's when you set your steak out 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes beforehand and allow it to come to room temperature so that when you start cooking it, it doesn't have to come up from cold to room temperature and then start cooking. At that point, it actually starts cooking because it's already the same temperature as the surroundings. So that's the first thing. That goes with cooking a turkey at Thanksgiving, like I said, even with fish or chicken, or in this case, like we're using a steak as an example. Second thing, make sure your pan's at the appropriate temperature. If you're just searing off a steak in a cast iron pan, you want it really hot to get that sear on both sides, then you can turn the heat down and throw it in the oven. A lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people just straight stovetop. They think, okay, I need a lot of fats, I need a, Pam, or I need, a lot of oil or things like that. You don't necessarily do. Sometimes a little bit of oil rubbed onto the steak versus a whole lot in the pan goes a long way. And that's a way to cut back on your fats. You can also, we've got things where we talk about overcooking a steak and you end up with a dry piece of meat. Think about things like marinades. You think about flavor injections. You think about brining with chicken. You can also brine pork or things like that. So there are techniques and prior preparations that help.